Here we go. Welcome to the very first video on this channel. The first time I heard this song, my foot practically fell off, and I knew drummers everywhere were about to start cursing their pedals. The goal of this video is to break down the main challenges in this pattern and give you a clear, structured path for learning and practicing it effectively. And now, let's get into it. First, here's what not to do. Don't just try to power through the whole thing, hoping that your foot eventually catches on. That can create tension, bad movement patterns, and possibly even injury. Technique disclaimer. The process we'll use works no matter your foot technique. Slide, swivel, heel toe, whatever. We won't dive into specific methods today. That's for another video. Double pedal disclaimer. Yes, a double pedal might be easier, but not everyone owns one. And more importantly, developing speed and control in your dominant foot is an essential skill for all drummers. And finally, use a metronome. If the speed is too fast for you to perform this comfortably and correctly, slow it down. Find a speed where you can be comfortable and correct, and then build from there. The first step is to isolate the double. Make sure that first note is rebounding and not getting buried. Watch the beater. Do you see a smooth, continuous motion from the first note into the second? Or does the motion stall between hits? Once we've got a smooth and even double, the next step, and this is key, the next step is to connect that double to the following single note. The main challenge that the vast majority of us will face here is recovering from that double and getting to the next single in time. If we can learn to master this, we've removed the #1 roadblock to playing this intro successfully. Once we've mastered the double to single connection, the next steps are just to build out the pattern. I would start by adding a single in front of that double. So we're now playing single, double, single, or dan, da, dan, dan. Spend some time here making this consistent. Now, let's add another double single at the end. So we're now playing single, double, single, double, single, or dan, da, dan, dan, da, dan, dan. Adding one more double to the end of this gives us the rhythm to the final bar of this intro. Once you can do this, it becomes a great exercise for developing comfort and endurance for the longer pattern. I would spend a lot of time right here on this one. From there, we just continue to build out the pattern until we reach one full repetition. From here, it's about endurance. No matter what technique you use to approach this, it's going to be tiring. And unless you've already got a wicked foot, you're probably going to need to work on your endurance here. Got the endurance to get through the pattern once perfectly? Great. Now, build the endurance to do that 4 times in a row. But only play as far as you can go while maintaining proper technique. We need to approach this like an athlete, and resting is critical. Don't try to push through these repetitions with your leg on fire and with bad technique. Treat this like a physical workout. Once fatigue sets in, our technique breaks down. So once you're ready, start with sets of just 1 bar. Then rest as long as needed. 20 seconds, a minute, maybe more. Once you're ready, add a second repetition to each set. Rest and repeat. And importantly, we're never finished with the earlier steps in this process. So many students seem to think that once they've done something right a couple of times, they can move on to harder things and forget about these earlier steps. Nope. Even once you can play this entire intro cleanly, you will likely still need to revisit these earlier steps, building and rebuilding that initial process many times.
ああ、やだやだ。 帰りてえ。
An example of how to structure your approach to this might look like the following. Keep building up this way until you can last all the way through the entire intro with perfect rhythm. Another good approach would be working backwards. Start with the final bar and then add one bar in front of that, so you're now playing the final 2 bars. I would spend a lot of time right here once you've worked up to it. Then add another bar in front of that, and once you're ready, add the final or first bar, and now you're playing the entire intro. Now, if you've made it this far and it's still not quite locking in, don't worry, that's completely normal. And this is where I want to introduce a really important mindset. Make it playable. That means creating a version of the song that fits your current skill level without slowing down the song. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to play a song, but you're not quite ready for the full transcription, this is what we do. It is much better to play a simplified version cleanly than the full version poorly. In this case, we would leave out one of the notes of the double. If we leave out the first note, it would look and sound like this. Leaving out the second note would look and sound like this. Both of these are valid options. This isn't cheating, it's musical problem solving. The goal is to stay in time, stay with the music, and play something that feels solid and confident, even if it's not the full transcription yet. So, if the full part still feels like a bit too much, give yourself permission to adjust it. Make it playable, and grow from there. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to respond. I'd also love to know what foot technique you end up using for this. Personally, as I demonstrated in the video, I find the standard heel up with a little bit of slide to be the most consistent for me. But how about you? Anyone out there using slide, swivel, or heel toe? Comment and we can see which one ends up being the most popular. Some of you will get this quickly, and for others it could take days, weeks, or even months. So remember to laugh at your mistakes, take breaks when frustrated, and try to keep things fun. And if you find yourself cursing at your foot or slamming your pedal, that's your cue to call it a day. We'll break down the rest of this song in the next video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you there. If you want to keep working on this song, Patreon is where all of the learning resources for this channel live. You can join the community and download the TV-size sheet music for free there. The link is on screen and in the description.